Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Dan Banchero Show, only on YouTube. I'm your host, as if it's going to be somebody else, and a major league piece of work, Dan Banchero. Hope you're all having a great day. Today's September the 11th. Everybody's remembering what happened about 18 years ago on that sad day. Hence the Star-Spangled Banner on my head and on my chest. But here's a shout out to those who died on that day and those who helped protect. So I sure did get the wind taken out of my sail this past Sunday. Man, I didn't see any of this coming. First, I lost another friend that I met at the fellowship directly as a result of alcoholism right out of the blue. I just saw this guy a couple weeks ago. He looked great. He looked back on track. He's happy, cheerful, seemed his normal self. And unfortunately, he went on one last run that finished it off, and it's really unfortunate. You know, can't say enough about the captain, Colin. I'm going to miss him. Also, I had a relationship end out of nowhere that seemed right and seemed to have a great future, but it came to an abrupt end, and had to kind of go and deal with that. But I am fortunate enough to have turned to the rosary and have been practicing a couple of 30-minute meditations on the glorious and sorrowful mysteries in order to keep that peace of mind. And so a special thanks goes out to Father Rocky and Relevant Radio and the Relevant Radio app for keeping me focused and guiding me through those meditations to keep my sanity. After visualizing and realizing what Jesus went through on the cross, I realized that my crosses that I bear are very minimal, and very minuscule, if you will. I've been able to reflect on these situations and write an essay, put together today's show, and learn even more about myself as a result. So Colin, he passed away Sunday morning. I got a text message from my buddy James. I knew he was in the hospital the night before. And I couldn't help but remind me of the fear and frustration I put my family and friends over the years through my alcohol and cocaine abuse. You know, I had numerous hospitalizations, as many of you might have known if you've been watching the show over the past 11 months. And again, I was able to shift this sadness regarding his death by taking responsibility again for my past and my experience, and becoming grateful for the efforts that I've made in order to change my mind and correct my conduct. So, like I said, if you've been watching the show or listening to it in the last 11 months, you'll realize that I've had some near-death experiences and some suffering, and this tragic occurrence gave me the opportunity to apply some of these spiritual principles that I've talked about in previous episodes that I've spoken of. So some of these include, first, the principle would be honesty, recognizing that I could and should have died many times as a result of disease of addiction and alcoholism. I applied the principle of action by taking time to unite my struggles in the past with his. Therefore, identifying and learning as opposed to just mourning. Applying courage to get honest, to take time to write these things down and share it here on the internet with all of you who are taking time to watch and listen. I applied humility to realize that if I don't continue to apply these principles and do these things that I do that seem very unnecessary to some, but very necessary to me, I could very much go on a run one last time and not come back. So, spiritual awareness was also applied here. I have to continue to pray for the strength and to stay disciplined daily. Otherwise, I can slip into those bad thinking habits that cause reactions to life that lead me to drinking and cocaine use. And finally, service. I'm able to apply the principle of service by sharing my experience with all of you watching or listening, and hoping to give somebody some hope who's struggling, or maybe inspire somebody who isn't struggling with addiction to make a better life for themselves through taking responsibility, maybe through prayer, maybe through faith, anything that I present here. So here's to you, Captain. You're a great man, and we're going to miss you dearly down there at the clubhouse. So, also, as I had mentioned, I was dating a lady for about 2 weeks, and I can confidently say that I have never experienced so much genuine fun and laughter with one woman in that short of a time. No drugs, no alcohol, just fun events, great conversation, beautiful views, good food, and excessive laughter. Never have I ever had so much fun with one girl in such a short period of time. Now, unfortunately, I received a text message from her Sunday night. She wants to focus on her responsibilities and feels that the relationship isn't what's right for her at this time. I was shocked and puzzled because things were going so well. And so, as good as it seemed, I'm still a little bit shocked and puzzled. But through applying more spiritual principles, I actually have a greater love and admiration for this woman, despite getting quote-unquote dumped, if you will. I wouldn't say dumped. Anyway, so yeah, I have a greater respect for this woman. It kind of turns me on, to be honest with you. I like a self-sufficient woman. So it's good. She's able to take her past, identify things that she might have done, realize she has goals, and she's not ready to be involved in any relationship for that matter, and focus on herself. And hopefully she will have a better life with or without me, you know? So rather than me talking her out of it, I let her say what she needed to say. I expressed what I felt and what I felt I could offer to create a more balanced relationship, and she can have her time to do, you know, what she needs to do with her goals and responsibilities, but she declined. So, I wanted to go to Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne Dyer, where he breaks down the 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching. I've used this in many, many other episodes. I want to go to the 55th verse on page 266 if you happen to purchase this book. This translation says, "He who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. Deadly insects will not sting him. Wild beasts will not attack him. Birds of prey will not strike him. Bones are weak, muscles are soft, yet his grasp is firm. He has not experienced the union of a man and woman, but is whole. His manhood is strong. He screams all day without becoming hoarse. This is perfect harmony. To know harmony is to know the changeless. To know the changeless is to have insight. Things in harmony with the Tao remain. Things that are forced grow for a while, but then wither away. This is not the Tao, the way. And whatever is against the Tao soon ceases to be." So, no more forcing things. As much as it hurts, as justified as it may be, no more forcing. I had to learn that over the years through my experiences. Change the way you look at your potential for becoming a lucky person. Now, sometimes, you know, in these relationships I've had in the past, I said, when's it going to happen for me? You know, why can't this be right now? Check this out. On 268, he continues. "Rather than telling yourself, with my luck, things aren't going to work out for me, affirm, I am open to allowing what needs to happen. I trust luck to guide me. This change in your thinking will serve you by guiding you to live in the flow with the Tao. Peace will replace stress. Harmony will replace effort. Acceptance will replace interference and force, and good luck will replace fear. You'll become what you think about, so even things that you previously believed were evidence of bad luck will now be viewed as what helps you move toward greater harmony. Living by letting go will allow you to appreciate the importance of living." All right, that's all I got to say about that for now. So in regards to myself, being aware of myself and doing thorough appraisals of my sexual relationships with women over the years, I realized I was involved in relationships that would have been great if the circumstances were right. Now, unfortunately, the circumstances weren't right all the time. Okay, I was involved in codependent relationships where either myself or the woman wasn't self-sufficient. We were either dishonest or promiscuous or active in drug addiction or alcoholism. Either myself or the other woman had self-seeking motives and would rely on the other to support one another. So some would become so involved with the relationship that suddenly more important responsibilities would be cast aside, okay? Which I think this is what she was trying to do here, which makes sense. This all falls under character building. Getting honest with yourself knowing your limits, knowing your boundaries, and knowing your past behaviors and correcting them before you get involved and committed. I respect it. So like a simple exercise I did over the years was simple. I got 2 columns down. One was, what did I advertise and what did I deliver? And I did that for each woman I was involved with or pursued over the years, right? And many times, trust me, what I advertised and what I delivered were 2 completely different things. Not the same, not aligned, not united, and hence they didn't work out. So that was a very important exercise for me to see on paper. You see, I'm a visual learner, and once I see things on paper, I can kind of see it, identify it, not just think about it and ponder it, but actually see the words. It's very important. So, like I said, I respect her for having an awareness of herself to first accomplish her goals, to be the best woman she can be. Okay? And, maybe she'll find the right man at the right time, whether it's me or not. It's all good. Now, if I wasn't taking these steps to stay enlightened about my character maintenance, I would selfishly lash out and play the victim and possibly and immaturely turn to blame. Very easily I could have played the victim, and many others do. So when I play the victim or play blame, it means a lot of the time I was entitled. And you've heard me talk about entitlement over the past few episodes, right? So what I respect about her decision to call off the relationship is she is avoiding what is easy. Some people will go to what's more familiar, what's more comfortable, what's easier, what's more appealing, what's more fun, okay? So basically what she was communicating to me is that the fun we were having might override any responsibilities that she might have, which I understand. Some of us like to take the easier, softer way. I'm sure many of you have heard that phrase before. So that's why going to college isn't easy, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. It's got to be tough. That's why going to the gym and doing cardio and lifting weights to either build strength or build the body you want to present or the health you want to have, it's not easy. It's more appealing to some to lay on the couch and watch television. So for some of the people I try to take through the proposals, sometimes they don't find it appealing or necessary, once they have a few months or years of drugs and alcohol in their system, to continue the character building process through the proposals. It's easier to do what's comfortable, more necessary, make more money, exercise, take yoga, this, that, the next. Those things are all okay, but we have to keep our minds changed before we go crazy. Now, not everybody goes out and uses drugs and alcohol as a result, but they might lose their peace of mind. And that's why I try to suggest to others. So they take it or they leave it. So I want to go to the Entitlement Cure, which will beautifully define exactly what I'm talking about. Again, I haven't pulled this out in a few months. The Entitlement Cure by Dr. John Townsend. Face the pain that gets you somewhere. This is what I believe she was doing, and this is what I'm doing right now in regards to this situation. Okay, on page 237 it says it's as simple as this. If you want to get somewhere meaningful in life, you need a relationship with pain. You must understand how to use and experience your own pain in ways that get you where you want to go. Sometimes this is through discipline, sometimes it's just through sacrifice. So things had to be sacrificed here. Now, unfortunately, in my friend's situation, certain things weren't disciplined, certain things weren't sacrificed, and it cost him his life. Now, in this situation, in the relationship, let's say things didn't work out between me and this woman. And let's say she had put things off and was focused clearly and distinctly on my situation with her in our relationship. It fell behind and never accomplished what she wanted to accomplish. She'd be full of guilt, resent, remorse, possibly some blame, and this could trigger us to act out. So she's avoiding this by taking care of what she wants to take care of, setting her boundary and achieving her goals. I love it. Can you believe this? What a different guy I am. All right. Where am I at? Let's go to the next page. Beautiful day out here at the park, man. Okay. So I want to go to Respect the Future on page 189 in this book. Okay. You only live once. We ignore the reality of tomorrow and get stuck in today. You only live once. The YOLO mentality. It's very dangerous. Okay, entitlement in the future. Okay, the entitlement mantra about the future is ignore the future and focus on today. Okay, what fun can I have today? How can I get my kicks on Route 66 right now today? But the hard way mantra is respect the future and let it guide today's experience. And why should we respect the future? Well, there's quite a few reasons. All right, so on page 195, no one wants a life of major struggle to continue forever. That would feel miserable and hopeless, and few people are content with just okay forever. That's just a halfway satisfying life. Sooner or later, those with such a life wake up and think, I settled, and I paid a big price for it. So rather than settling for what's at hand right now, some of us choose to make sacrifices, put some of our wants off, put some of our needs disguised as wants disguised as needs off, and focus on what's at hand right now. So again, no settling. Okay. So further on in the chapter, Dr. John Townsend talks about Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, the movie, right? This is great. A life that does not change and improve is like the movie Groundhog Day, in which Bill Murray's character repeats his life over and over again until he becomes completely miserable. Even his successes become meaningless. And that's why you must respect, consider, and act on your future. Because if you don't, your best possible case is Groundhog Day, where you, your relationships, your career, and your life stay stuck in a repetitive pattern. Same thoughts, habits, patterns, struggles, and activities. When you don't think in the present about the future, you get trapped in an endless loop. That's what happened to me. Makes sense. All right, page 196, check this one out. Inevitably, creative, innovative, exciting ideas fill up the space. We are built to think about and get energy from the hope that comes from a bright future. When this catalytic energy occurs, regardless of whether we're talking about your company or your personal life, it's bound to change your present behavior. You will be more strategic about how you spend your time, money, and energy. See, this is all a learning process. Every day is a journey, as minuscule and as mediocre and as meaningless as every action. Every move I make on a daily basis has a cause and effect. It changes the course of history. Every move I make, every word I speak. All right. When you respect the future, you dramatically increase your chances of attaining a better one. Very important statement. So later on, he's talking about this client he had, right? This doctor. He said that the mantra that she had was one day at a time. And that's true in most cases, but check this out. This client wanted to be free of anxiety and dread over the future and wanted to keep her life simple. She never saved, never watched her diet, and didn't study up on how to create and maintain great relationships. She literally lived one day at a time. Now in her later years, she's having great difficulty. Okay. I was living one day at a time for years. I wanted to go to the bar. I wanted to listen to the jukebox. I wanted to put on some silly outfits. I wanted to dress like a high roller. My solution to life was get loaded and go have sex. And that's it. Very shallow. That's all it came down to. You must balance one day at a time with being respectful of the future and guiding your daily decisions by how they will impact you tomorrow. Okay. In the talk of the two U's, later on in the chapter, he says this. These are questions we should ask ourselves if you're to look at yourself in the mirror. These are examples. I wish you would have kept the big picture of your vision and goals in mind more. You drifted from thing to thing and from day to day, and now it's going to be a lot more work to get some dreams accomplished. Totally applies in this situation. I'm glad you decided to become more focused on what your life is really about and finished your degree so that you could get a job that fits your talents. It has made a great difference in the last 10 years. I wish you had put energy into the relationships that really mattered. You let controlling, critical, or selfish people take up way too much of your time, energy, and love. It would have worked out so much better if you had set limits on these relationships so that you could instead invest in supportive and positive people. Your life would be different today. I remember when you said goodbye to those toxic relationships and started hanging out with people who wouldn't drag you down but instead supported you. It wasn't easy and you felt bad and guilty for a while. Then it paid off in dating and marriage and in your career. Now some of those statements don't necessarily apply to what I've been talking about here today, but these all trigger emotions that might cause us to have consequences, one way or another. All right, so for years I was an entitled person. I felt I deserved the right woman for years without examining my thoughts, decisions, actions, and situation, right? So there's a lot there to think about. One more thing here. I want to go to page 142. The phrase "I deserve" becomes a problem when it merely expresses a need or a desire. Used in that way, it encourages an entitled attitude. Need, yes. Deserve, not so much. Things get confused and break down when we fail to make this distinction. I deserve a great marriage. Everyone who walks down the aisle wants a great marriage. This is one of our deepest desires in life. But no one has promised us a great marriage. So for me, this all has to do with character building. I've got to stay in the game and maintain my character through prayer, meditation, surveying myself, checking my motives, all that. You see, I could sit here and point fingers all day long at X's and all this stuff. But the problem is that when I focus on someone other than myself, I grow less powerful and more dependent. I give power to others, making it much less likely that I'll have the power to get my life together. I deserve thinking leads to a passive victim mentality. People shut down and refuse to make choices. They wait for someone else to make things better for them. So it looks like this was all avoided. This is all good. Now, hey, like Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over, right? So now the chess game begins. Whether to wait it out and see what happens or to go out and pursue someone new. Who knows what I'm going to do. Life is truly nothing but a series of choices. But it's all good. Now many of you are probably saying to yourself, now I just saw this lunatic on social media last night wearing a full-length fur coat, sunglasses, a Middle Eastern headdress designed for women, and pulling out rosary beads, testifying Bible scripture. Why would I take this lunatic's word for it? Well, let me give you 3 reasons right now. Check it out. 1, because if you had any eye for fashion, you would know that those head coiffs that by alter ego DTM wears are very hip and chic in belly dancing clubs across the country and throughout the world, across the globe. Second of all, I'm smarter than I look. Just ask the people who think they can or thought they could gossip, snoop, or wrong me over the years without it getting back to me. 3, just go back and revisit the timeline episodes I have dating back to 2007 and compare those stories to the man I am today. The proof's in the pudding. So let's go to Proverbs. Last night I quoted Proverbs chapter 22, verse 10. Drive out the mocker and out goes the strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. So if you are a person of faith or if you have a spiritual connection, continue to seek and live those principles and let people mock you and snarl and snicker. Go out and live your life. As long as you have good intentions and you know that you're trying to better yourself and contribute to society, into the world, it's okay. Let them gossip, let them snicker, let them judge. No problem. Second, following that wonderful verse, Proverbs 22, verse 11, one who lives a pure heart and who speaks with grace will have the king for a friend. That's actually the one I quoted last night, live from Oracle Park at the Giants game. You see, if we have good thoughts in our mind, then we'll come out with good words and good actions. So if we're pure of heart more times than not, we're probably going to have a pretty good day. And the kingdom is ours. Whatever's driving this force will be our friend. And it's going to be all good. Proverbs chapter 22 overall is really good. Check it out. You don't have to be a Bible thumper or into religion. Just focus on the principles. That's all it is. Just Proverbs. Just suggestions. Or don't. All right, so do the best you can to stay true to yourself and your faith, and let the results shine down on the earth. That's all we can do. Do your best to not speak poorly of others, and be positive and helpful in thought and communication. That seems to be what's working for me. Remember, our words, whether they're in our mind or coming out of our lips, are our decree. Our words are our decree. So before I finish, I'm going to go back to the Unknown Teachings of Lau-Tzu from the Hu Ching by Brian Walker. Another one of my favorite books. Simple read. You got to get this book, man. This makes you feel so good. Verse 79, page 103. Those in future generations who study and practice the truth of these teachings will be blessed. They will acquire the subtle light of wisdom, the mighty sword of clarity that cuts through all obstruction, and the mystical pearl of the understanding that envelops the entire universe. They will attain the insight necessary to perceive the integral truth of the Tao. Following this truth with an unabashed sincerity, they will become it, whole, courageous, indestructible, unnameable. Thank you for joining me once again on the Dan Banchero Show. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary party of the Dan Banchero Show next time, October the 3rd, baby. So it's going to be a great week. We got the 1-year anniversary show of the Dan Banchero Show on October 3rd. We got my mom's birthday on October 6th. We got my daughter's birthday on October 7th. We got my sister's birthday on October 9th. And we got another special someone's birthday on October the 10th. So, see how things just all line up beautifully? I'm Dan Banchero. Thanks for joining me. Colin, here's to you, Captain. And here's to feeling good all the time. God bless America.